I want to talk today about passive income. Um, I think passive income is super important. There is something about waking up to an alert where you have money being deposited in your account, or going check your book sales where you have them either set up electronically or on some kind of third party platform like Kindle, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and you've sold books. There's something wonderful about that, because once you've done the initial work of setting up that income stream, then there's very little to do on the back end. And some people are so afraid of setting up a passive income stream on the front end, but something about them is very rewarding. So for instance, let's go through the different types of passive income streams. So you could have products. There could be products that could be passive incomes, like some people will put out a PDF that informs, like gives you step-by-step or tips. Ebooks can be passive income streams. Paperbacks can be passive income streams. Webinars could be passive income streams. You could have mixed use, which what I mean by that is you could have a passive income stream that is partly active, but a lot of it is passive. So you can set up some kind of group or membership group where there's parts of it that's passive, but you still have an active component. Or you can have it completely passive, where a lot of it is still working on its own, but a lot of it should be automated. So passive income allows you to have sometimes your passive income can be your main income source. And so many people don't think about that. Your passive income can be your main income source, because if you picture this with me, you're on vacation, you're at a restaurant, you're ordering your food, and you get alerts or a big alert that says you just got $10,000 deposited in your account, or $1,000 deposited in your account, or $20,000 deposited in your account. And you're in a whole nother country at a whole restaurant ordering your food. You can have your main source of income be passive income. Some people choose drop shipping, where they have products that they sell. Some people, like I said, you can set up automations on your website or through third-party platforms to have passive income. The biggest thing is set up some kind of passive income. And what it does is, and I posted something about this a few weeks ago about digital products. Like, you can have digital products in the marketplace that help people understand what your brand is, that help, people take hold or get access to you and you're not even around. It's super important that you put some kind of product in the marketplace. Now, passive income a lot of times is going to be associated with a product and not a service, because if it's a service that you have to provide, then it's active, unless you have employees that supply the service, and then it's active for them, and it can still be residual income for you. That's the way I set up the tax business a few years ago. But however, if you have a product that is completely automated in the marketplace, then people, when they're trying to learn more about you, a lot of times if we have some kind of product in the marketplace and it's not a high ticket item, meaning that it's between, let's say, $50 and $150, people will feel more confident purchasing that before they purchase your higher ticket item or your mid-level item, or work with you on a one-on-one basis. So have something out there that they can examine, see if they get a good feel for it, spend money on it, and they get value from it, and yet you really didn't have to do anything for them to secure this product. And so it's going to be beneficial to you the consumer, the marketplace for you to have opportunities for passive income. Because like I said, it puts a product out in the marketplace that somebody can secure when you're busy. So they don't have to wait for you to fulfill their order. If you have your automations, if you have to literally supply it or email it to them, that's not passive income. That's active income. But it should be something that when they hit submit with their payment, it drops directly into their email, or it sends an email to the third party vendor who then fulfills the order. And it's a really cool thing. And then with social media and everything being so virtual now, it's a really good avenue for you to secure more income. There's really, the only thing you really need to figure out is what it is you're going to sell, not if you're going to put a product out there. Because, the market needs you. And so, and I don't believe if you have creativity or something, now you could oversaturate. There is, like people say, there's no such thing as oversaturation. I don't believe there's anything as oversaturation if you're working in your creativity and authenticity. But if you're like, oh, this person sells this, so I'm gonna sell it, or somebody else does this, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but it's not passionate for you and you really don't want to do it, you just want to, you might make some money off it. You could make a ton of money off of it, but that's when you kind of are dabbling in a way of saturating the market. Like, you don't even really want to do that. But if it's something you're passionate about, you can't. I just made a hair serum for my hair. My background, I have a chemistry background, so don't be like, I thought you were talking about money. We've gone through this. Don't act brand new about how you don't know that I have a science background. But I made a serum for my hair that causes hair growth, even though I cut all my hair up all the time. I still want my hair to be healthy. And so if I put it out in the marketplace, I know it works. I've been using it on my hair for years. And if you want a receipt, go check how long my hair had gotten before. And it's healthy. It's really about making it healthy, and healthy hair grows. But if I put it out in the market, I wouldn't be afraid of the market being saturated, because it's something that I made. You can't recreate this. You can't do it like I do it. And so you also need to have that idea. You can't push this out like I do it. You ain't make this the way I made it, And if you think about anything, like I like a certain, let me see. I'm trying to think. Okay, for instance, I like a certain brand of chapstick. Like, how many people make chapstick? But there's a billion brands. Well, let's say 100 brands or more of chapstick, and people come out with a new brand all the time. And guess what? They make money from it. Like just find out. So once again, it's not really about whether or not you should put out a product. It's more about, okay, what product am I putting out, and how is it going to relate to my brand to allow more traffic to come into my brand, and allow people to get to know my brand when they want to examine me to see if they want to become a part of my sales funnel. Like, a lot of these terms should make sense. They want to, possibly go to a mid-level product, or, purchase a service directly from me. How can I show them that I have value? We all have value. That my products and my skill set has value, and I'm not even around. That's how you should look at products. Because they're important. Like, I have a ton of products in the marketplace, and they move quite frequently. And I speak about how my first book, 21 Day Word Revolution, which is probably one book that I put the most time in, with the exception of this one. This is probably number 2. I put a ton of time into this book. By the time I got to this book, I knew how to write. Like, I can probably go sit somewhere for a couple weeks and crank out another one with passion and value. But that first one, that was my first one. I had been working on it for a while. But when I actually sat down to work on it, I actually pushed it out in 3 months. But I had, like I told you, go join a membership. I talk about how I had been collecting pieces of the book for years. Writing a little bit here, writing a little bit there, not knowing it was going to be a book, that book. But it is still one of the top selling books in my catalog. Like Nas might have a top selling album, or Jasmine Sullivan, who just won a Grammy, might be her top selling album. I can't imagine. I like hotels, but that first one that wasn't no joke. It is still, even years later, a top selling product in my catalog, and much of it is sold on Amazon. So think about that. I wrote this book it was published in January of 2017, and it still moves. In bookstores, it is still the top seller years later. So what is that? Let's see, 5 years? Dang, that's dating me a bit. 5 years, and it's still one of the top sellers in my catalog. And I've put out several books since then that have done well. The second book, I would have to look. I think the second book might be The Affirmation. But the first one is 21 Day Word Revolution. I wrote this book a long time ago. So there is income that I make from this book years later that I don't even have to be present for. So figure out what product relates to your business, and figure out if you need help on how to put it out. Schedule a call. I can show you how I've done it and how I've helped my clients in the membership group. But if you're ready to crank out a product, it's time for you to become an individual coaching client. At the very least, schedule a call. But think about the product that relates to your business and put it out. And years later, you can still be making money off a product that you put. I wrote the book in 2016. It was published in January 2017. There is nothing else that I have to do to that book. Now, one thing I did do was we made a second edition to it, which took me maybe a month. So I may have put another month into it, but these were chapters that I have been writing over time. If you're interested in writing a book, you might want to join a membership, because I've gone through how I've set up my book writing. But technically, the majority of this was written in 2017, and it still moves. So that's the whole point of passive. That's really passive income. That's a great example of passive income. Or like if I got to give a rapper example, because I love a rapper. So let's say when Nas put out an album, Godson, I think, is one of the names. I love Nas. We might have dated in my head years ago. But so he put out this catalog of music, or this album, or this CD, or whatever we calling it now. And he put it out years ago, and then every time something great happens in his life, like when he was a part of crypto's inception into the stock market, people start pulling all of his music down. So he's getting royalties off of an album that he wrote, I think 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like that's what we want to do. That's how you get wealthy, not by actively working for your income. There's probably hundreds of ways you can build passive income. There's stock market, there's digital products, ebooks, music if you're a musician. I think at some point it's active. You put your activity into it, and then you release it, and then it moves on its own. I was about to make a bad joke, but I'm not. So I say all of that to say, figure out what the product is. Figure out how it relates to your market before you go about digging in. Now, this is something I learned over time. Make sure it's something that is desired from your audience or desired in the marketplace. There's always a niche, but you don't want to put in a ton of work and it doesn't move. So make sure you have a marketing plan and an understanding of the group that would want to buy it, that you're answering a problem for, and then put it out. And that's so